The Ford Performance rear lowering kit here will be a great option for all 2015 through 2020 owners looking to drop just the rear of the truck, making for not only a level ride height, but that perfect street or sport truck stance. Now this kit will include 2 heavy-duty steel drop shackles that will lower that rear end 1.5 inches, along with fresh bushings and shims, all for right around that mid $100 price point. So I like to refer to this kit from Ford Performance as the reverse leveling kit. Now that's because unlike most traditional leveling kits that truck owners are familiar with that bring the front up to match the rear, this kit on the other hand will bring the rear down to match the stock front ride height. Now the end result I think is a perfectly level stance and one that is going to be more street or sport truck stance as opposed to something geared more towards off-road use. Now sticking with that stance a little bit more here guys, I personally think lowering the truck 1.5 inches in the rear makes for a really attractive stance overall that's not too low to the point of being undrivable, but at the same time you're not totally killing your ground clearance if you ever needed to get off pavement for whatever reason. Now that new stance is made possible thanks to your 2 drop shackles here that Ford Performance has included that will install on the rear leaf mounting point and essentially move that rear leaf mounting point location up, in turn dropping the truck in the process. Now it's a very simple design, full disclosure, one that's been used in the truck world for as long as I can remember, and it just flat out works. Now as for the shackles themselves, well, you can see things are pretty simple, made from a high grade steel finished in a black powder coat, and of course Ford Performance does toss in some new urethane bushings for a smooth and quiet ride, along with some shims if needed. Now the best thing about lowering the rear of the truck through a shackle kit like this is that it will be very straightforward. It's a bolt-on job with no crazy modification. Now sight's gonna go a little hard here guys, call this one a full 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, but I feel like a couple of hours was really all you need to knock this one out. As far as your tools are concerned here guys, well definitely a solid socket set along with some open-ended wrenches, along with an impact gun or driver to help you get those bolts loose. Of course, don't forget the grease here to lube up those new bushings from Ford Performance. But now to give you a better idea of just how this one will go down, check out this detailed walkthrough from an AT customer.
We're going to install the driver's side lowering shackle. Right now, car's jacked up, and I've got the wheel removed. And the next step right now is to get the rear shackle, which is this guy right here. Get these bolts loosened and up and out of the way. First is we're going to take this guy out, which is the lower one to frame. We'll get that one out first, and the intent is to raise this up to get it in place or lower it to get the back bolt out. It is a 24 millimeter on the back side for the nut. That there. Twist this off by hand. So that is out. So what I'm going to do here is just verify the tension on that bolt. I'm going to drop the jack down just a little bit and see if that loosens any of the pressure. So I have all of the pressure off the jack, which if you can see there on the differential, we're good. 0 pressure right now. So that looks like it's there. We're gonna try to punch it out from the back side, see if we can get that bottom bolt out. Let's see what happens. This pull. Again, we're gonna play with the differential light. Drop it down a bit. we go. That guy's out. For safekeeping, we're gonna put those two together and set it underneath the car. All right, so now with that done, and that is out of the way, we shall move to this top one. So this has got to come that way. We need to loosen it up, get it going. Grab my wrench, grab my impact. Let's see if we can get this one going. Again, impact is not the greatest, but it works. Put it on. Got that bolt there. Alright, that works. Now we do it by hand. Come out pretty easily. There we go. Bolt down. So the lower shock mount is an 18 on this side and a 15 on the bolt side. Get this one held. Load up the impact. Back this guy. Carefully knock this out, knowing that the shock is probably going to fall out pretty easily. All right, so a little bit of pressure through that bolt out, and we're going to let the shock fully compress. She's out. So now the goal is to see if lowering the differential again will get us any more clearance on our bolt there. And now we're going to reposition. What we've done so far is we have gotten our shock mount to be in a better position over here. All right, as you can see here, we've got shock mount right up underneath. Bolt can now come free, so I'm going to get my hammer. I'm going to give it a little whack. Yeah, let's not do that. Make sure you support the shackle. But we are now free. And the shackle has come out and into place. Okay, now it is time to take these shackles that were done. We're going to do one side. Recommendation is to use grease on the inside, the out, and the face of the bushing. So what I've done is I've bought some synthetic grease. Shall open this up. There we go. Don't exactly want to mess with this, so we will use a glove. And we will take some of the synthetic grease. You know what, let's just... Okay, so inside and out. So we're gonna load up the bearing on the outside here, coated. And we'll load up the inside. Go from there. Okay. Take our shaft. Same thing. Load it up. We'll get that sealed in nicely. Take the shackle, do the same thing on the inside here, load it up. Got everything greased in nicely. Got good coating. Slide our first guy in. There we are. Good to go. Clean you up a bit. Good there. And we will fit the other side of this. Again, I don't think there's any problem with over excessive. Using gloves would be key. Make sure that the facing over here is covered. She'll slide this on. Oh, that was a little easier. All right. Looks like everything's sandwiched in nicely. Plenty of grease all over the place. So remove the gloves. Grab a small rag. Just kind of wipe down all the areas that are going to be handled at some level. Okay, so instructions state that this should be installed with the top bushing first, which would be here. So this will go into the top. This will go into the frame. Then this open section here, as you can see, will face the front. So we are on the driver's side, so we're going to go install this. The instructions do call for blue thread lock to be applied to all fasteners. So we're gonna get this loaded up first, and then we will come back and put it. Now I do not see any previous thread lock on these before. I mean, nothing in the nut, nothing on the bolt. But per the instructions, we're gonna follow that. We'll put a little bit of on there once we get it through. Again, face going towards the front. This is the driver's side, so it'll be open. Just like that. There we go. All right. All the way through, just like that. Beautiful. We'll apply blue locks on, and then we will tighten to there. Now, since we are in good shape, we will position our lower ball and get it in there. But first, we're gonna lower the pressure on the jack. So we have less pressure up there, and we're gonna let that all slide down and get us in a better spot. So we're gonna lower our jack carefully. Watch your face. Over there. All right. So now we're back in a good position. All set to go. Now we'll hand tighten that. And again, the goal is to get this snug first before we go to the next round. So. I would say that that's snug and we're good to go. Next step in a minute. we go. So got that slid in. We got the bolt from earlier. Everything looks pretty good. We're gonna slide this guy in. All set. Again, this is a snug, tight effort. And go from there. This one here should be a 21. The nut is a 24. We're gonna load our tools up, and we're gonna have to start this by hand since the impact is difficult to get in and out of that. 21 on the nut head, or the bolt. 24 on the nut. You're in. There. Perfect. Okay. I lost a little bit of the blue. There we go. Verify that the nut's clean. Looks good. Surface here is good. Push it down. Enough. All right. Next part is to remove these U-bolts and replace this with the supplied shim, which I'll show here in a second. 21 millimeter on the impact. Shall remove these. This is on this side. This is on this side. Shall lower the differential so there's no pressure. There we go. Slightly lifted. Perfect. Let's see if this will help me get the block off. We're gonna go down just a little bit more. There we go. All right, so pretty much zero pressure on the differential, but enough to hold it up, but yet get this block out. So the block is out. So then the next part is to take the supplied wedge. The thicker end goes towards the rear, so we are on the driver's side. We shall sit it like this. It doesn't look to be any type of preference. I am gonna put the non-milled side down, so it'll look like this. It'll fit right in the grooves. All right, that's good, it's in. In this case, we will then apply some more differential. Right there. We got to get that to line up. So the front, the axle has to come forward to the driver, and the spring has to come out to the wheel, right there. That hole has to line up. All right, this may be the part where we remove the, we're gonna go back and take the lower, the lower shock mount and remove that. It's gonna give us a little less struggle to get everything back in place. So let's take that back out. Alright, so what we'll do now is put our U-bolts back over and then make sure underneath we're pretty close, which we are. This is lined up in the hole from the leaf spring through the shim in there. That realigned everything else. Go back side. You don't see any daylight up at the top of the shim and the block. Good there. Okay, so we shall then work on repositioning all of our U-bolts. Again, everything's supposed to just be snug, and then we will hand tight or tighten just torque on the ground. So again, make sure everything is perpendicular. We go.
So if you're looking for an easy to install, affordable way to achieve a perfect street or sport truck stance, be sure to check out this rear lowering kit from Ford Performance right here at AmericanTrucks.com.